Hey guys, today we're going to be doing a corn snake care guide video. I'm Noah, this is Pickles, so let's get into it. So first off, corn snakes are the second most commonly kept pet in the US. They are from the eastern US, and they are slendered but long-bodied snakes. Next, let's talk about the size that your corn snake will get. So the typical corn snake gets 4 to 5 feet long, with rare specimens getting just a little over, just about 6 feet long. And as juveniles, they'll be about this size. This is Pickles. He's about a juvenile. He is a het for scaleless corn snake. Although I think there's something different with him, because as you can see, he's brownish in color. Typically, as the name suggests, they'd be red rat snake. So he's a juvenile. He's about a foot long. So that's what you expect for a juvenile. And he'll get about 4 feet, with females getting larger than males. We're going to talk about the handleability of a corn snake. Corn snakes being their size, are perfect size to handle. They're thin, which makes them feel more fragile, but they get to a nice size where it's easily, like, a toddler, grown-ups, anyone can easily hold a corn snake. And they aren't flighty, they're very docile, they don't bite. Some specimens will have an attitude, and anything with a mouth can bite. So they will, if you entice them, they will bite if they have to, but only if they feel threatened. Now, my corn snake Pickles, he's a little different. He's got a little attitude, but he's being calm and nice today. But again, they very not flighty and very docile. Next, let's talk about the enclosure for your corn snake. For a juvenile like this, a 20-gallon will be enough for them for a good bit. And a general rule is you want your corn snake to be able to fully stretch out across one side of the enclosure. Some people also say the longest side plus one of the shortest side, but I don't think that should be true. I think it should just be the longest side. They should be able to stretch out. And so when they're adult, it is recommended to have a 120-gallon 4x2x2 for your corn snake. And for substrate, you can use anything as you can use paper towels, newspaper, although I wouldn't, because I like to encourage burrowing with Pickles, because I've seen him burrow, I've seen him using it. Although it may not be as easy to clean up his messes as it would be with paper towels and newspaper, I think it's definitely worth it. You can use, as I was saying, you can use newspaper, paper towel, soil, substrate mix like sphagnum moss, cocoa fiber, sand, topsoil, all that. And you can also go with the bioactive route, which you take that substrate mix, and for most people they add a drainage layer at the bottom that could be lava rocks, and they let their soil drain down. But for Pickles, I don't think I'd moisten his tank enough to have a drainage layer. But with the bioactive route, you can put isopods, which are little bugs that eat their sheds, their poops, any waste material, and they clean up after the snake, which is helps so you don't have to clean up as much. Now you do still need to keep the little tank tidy, but you don't have to as much, and you can plant plants easier and all that. Although a corn snake, they're not as shy as other snakes would be, such as smaller species and ball pythons, which is bigger species, but they're very, very active, so they will run over some of your plants. They will crush some of your plants. As I've had to throw away a few of my plants in his bioactive setup because he has crushed them. And if you want to go with bioactive, you want a UVB light, so make sure you have a UVB light. And for a water bowl, you want a water bowl size where they can soak in their water bowl. His water bowl isn't as big because I've tried to provide him with a taller tank, because a lot of people think like it's a corn snake, you should probably like bigger and less tall, but I think you should give him more, like not more, but around the same size of length as width. So I don't have a very big water bowl, but he definitely could get a good portion of his body if he wanted to in it. And for hides, you want to have at least 2 or more hides. One hide on the warm side and another hide on the cool side. And then for your enrichment, you're gonna want, if you go in the bioactive route, you're gonna want leaves, which the isopods will eat. You're gonna want leaves. You could put cork bark. You could also substitute as a hide, and you could put more wood. Some plants would work, artificial plant. So some essentials you may want for your enclosure are a mist bottle. Doesn't have to be any of those reptile brands. Just Dollar General mist bottle, as long as it mists really good. And this one has a little setting where I can spray like streams over like just misting. So I like that. You may also want some feeding tongs, which these can like, when you are feeding your snake, you just pick up the mouse and feed them like that. You don't have to worry about getting your fingers bit. If you're jumpy, these really work for me, because I like snakes, but I don't really like them biting me. So these work good. You're gonna also want some dechlorinator, because you don't want all the chemicals that we use in our water. You put this in your little spray bottle with your water, and you put this in their water bowl, so they're not drinking water. And a cup that you want to use to thaw your mycin that you're going to be feeding your corn snake with. And I think and you're also going to want a temperature gun. I don't have one on me right now, but so you can check all spots of your tank with a temperature gun. And you're gonna want paper towels probably, and you could get tank cleaner. So another thing with these corn snakes is their diet. Everything eats, of course, but everything eats different times. Like, snakes can go a lot longer without food, and corn snakes can too, but corn snakes' digestive system is a little more rapid than other snakes. So, like I said, they're active, so they're going to be burning off more energy. But for a juvenile, like Pickles here, you're going to want to feed them once a week. And for adults, you're going to want to feed them around every 10 days. For juveniles, 5 to 7 days, between 5 and 7 days is when you'd feed them, and adults, you'd feed them between 7 and 10 days. And general rule of thumb is you're going to want to their biggest portion of their body, which for pickles would be right about there, you want the prey item to be just around that around the size of the biggest portion of their body. And also, with live feeding, you do not want to feed live to your snake. For one issue is because it's basically just torture to the mouse. I mean, you put them in there, they know they're gonna die. They're gonna suffocate to death. With frozen mice, they just go in a chamber and they fall asleep, and that's it. And they're out, and your snake eats them. But with live feeding, the rodent can also harm your snake, chewing their eyes and ripping eyes out. There's been scars all over snakes from rodents scratching them. It's horrible, and it's just overall it's just torture for the rodents. And I think that's about all for feeding. So the price of a corn snake varies a little. So a normal corn snake, you're gonna pay basically nothing for it. There's everyone's looking at morphs and all of that for breeding, but if you just want a corn snake because they're nice, they're pretty, if you want to get you a normal, that's gonna be like hardly nothing, like $10, $15, $20, even like $5 for just a normal corn snake. But once you get into more of your morphs, they get up there. Like the Pickles right here, he is a scaleless, so he cost me $100. And those morphs are going to be a little more expensive. Like, there's also the scaleless morph, which is like they have no scales. Actually, my other snake, Wrinkles, and this 40 gallon behind me is a scaleless Texas rat snake. That is his future girlfriend, and those can cost you up to $150. And then there's the color morphs like Motley and Tessera, all those, and those are going to cost you a little like $50. And then there's stuff like Palmetto, which is going to cost you like, never really looked at Palmetto, but probably around like $300. And then there's crazy stuff that like gets up there. But if you just want your normal corn snake, it's gonna be nothing. And also their availability, you can find them anywhere. Any store, any like chain link store and private owned reptile stores and just pet shops, you can find them anywhere. Especially, and I have gotten both of my snakes, Wrinkles and Pickles, at reptile expos, which is recommended because you get to meet the breeders and see the snakes in person. But you definitely get to like look over the snakes. They let you hold them, and you can shop online. But like I said, reptile expos and seeing the snake in person is a lot better because you can check for kinks and mites. And another thing that goes with enclosure is you could house, I would say, just juveniles and babies, not really adults, in tubs. But for that, you're going to need you're gonna have to go with heating, because the lamp will melt your plastic. And with this, the snake feels, actually, I've heard, more comfortable. I haven't really heard much about corn snakes with this because plastic's a lot more fuzzy, like you can't really see in as well. as glass, so that they feel a little more secure. And it also saves like space. It's easy to stack, but the same rule with the plastic tubs. It's about 20 gallon for juveniles, if you can find a 20 gallon plastic tub. But so, and you can also have them in racking systems, where you have a rack and a snake, and you have snakes in those racks, and you just pull the little tubs out, and it's the same rule with that. But that's what a lot of breeders use, a lot more people. But if you're looking into that, I would look up a video specifically about you housing your corn snake in racking or tub systems. Another thing is, this is a book it's titled Corn Snakes in Captivity, which is perfect because it has how to like feed your corn snake, shedding, selecting your corn snake, housing, receiving your corn snake, feeding and watering, shedding, breeding, genetics, escapes, diseases, and disorders. And it also has all the morphs in the back, or not all the morphs, but a good bit of the morphs. And it has. So thank you for watching this video, guys. If you found this helpful, please subscribe, like, and share to anyone else who's looking to get into snakes or corn snakes. And good luck and have fun.